So even here in our seated position, if you feel that you're struggling to hold the knees open, have a nice alignment in the back, you can always put a block, a pillow, or a blanket underneath your hip. So let's say you're sitting in a Sukhasana, easy sitting pose, cross-legged. Simply put the towel here, and then I just let my hips slide down. And now I'm very relaxed and I can stay here for an hour or so. Let's say that your knees are bothering you, to have the knee fall with gravity, that there's some tightness. Then you simply put a block underneath that knee. Sometimes, and this is important to know, remember, this whole leg is one unit. If the hip doesn't open enough to let the knee have the normal hinge movement, I go here. But sometimes my ankle is really bendy and flexy. So maybe my knee is not hinging properly. I'm not really able to open up the hip. I'm taking all of the flexibility into my ankle, and that's bad too, because we don't want to overemphasize the internal rotation of the ankle. So then it's a nice idea to take your little towel and put it underneath your ankle so that it cannot overbend. So something to think about. So we're in our seated position. Close the eyes. Come into a nice equal breath. Also, the equal breath is a very nice breath to have and to cultivate that awareness. Doesn't matter if it's 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out, 5 seconds, whatever is good for you. Inhale, hands to heart center. The reason why we start a practice with an Om is that it helps to energize the practice. It also helps to give us focus and intent as we go into our 30-minute, 60-minute, or 90-minute practice, whatever it is that you would like to do that day. So all together, take a breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Exhale and release. So as you're developing your home practice, or you're looking at YouTubes and other teachers to join, it's very important to find at least 5 quiet breaths before you start your practice. Because you want to come into a really nice emotional and mind space where you are mindful, you have a real intent and purpose to your practice. That way you avoid injuries and you also bring the most benefits to the time spent on your mat. Let's warm up with puppy pose, and I'd like to show you how you can use your block or your towel as a prop. So you come into a neutral tabletop. My block is going to be underneath my chest. Now puppy pose is very nice on the hips and knees because I'm not over flexing them. However, as I bring my head down, I do need to open up the shoulder. And if your shoulder girdle is a little tight or your neck, put your block underneath the sternum in your chest, let the head hang down, and hold here. So let's all come into puppy pose. You can play with the height of your block. It's a wonderful way just to start warming up the joints and come into your practice. Find your easy breath, counting down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, and 1. Coming out of the pose, let's come right into child's pose. Again, if child's pose is challenging, take that block and put it underneath your forehead as you bring the hips towards the heels. If you're finding some challenge because of the knees, you put your towel in between the knee and the thigh. And that will relieve that angle on the knee. As you're in position, just listen to my words. Sometimes we have problems with our ankles in that we cannot extend the ankle as much as we would like to in the child's pose. So you put a towel underneath the ankle, which gives a little bit more support there as you deepen your child's pose. Let's hold here, again, being very mindful of our breath for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose and sitting on our heels, lift the head, lengthen the back. As you inhale, draw the hands back towards the body as you lift the torso. And again, you can use all the different props underneath your ankles or in between your knee and your thigh, the back of the leg. From here, everyone get a towel, a rolled up towel, put it at the back side of your mat because we're going to use it as a way to support us in a downward facing dog position. So sometimes as we are developing the lengthening of the hamstrings, we like to have a little support underneath our feet. So what you do, come into position for downward facing dog, have the towel behind your toes. Everyone take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift up into your downward facing dog and let the heels be supported by the towel. And hold here. Counting down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, gently bring the knees down, child's pose. Do your best to leave your hands in the same position, lengthening the back, bringing the hips back towards the heels. This is another nice way to warm up. Counting down 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time, let's come into downward facing dog. Inhale up to neutral tabletop, curl the toes under, and exhale into downward facing dog. Now perhaps you'd like to move the towel away and just see the difference. See what works for you, holding here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose, exhale, gently bring the knees down. Knees are down on the mat, relax the toes. Now let's cross the ankles behind us. And then just push back into a seated position onto your butt. If you need that towel, in fact, I'm gonna have everyone actually do it so you can see the difference. Bring that towel underneath your seat bones. Even if you're really flexible, this is a nice thing to just practice. So I have the towel right underneath my seat bones, allowing my pelvis to fall forward. From here, as you exhale, release the legs into Dandasana. Hands are on the mat, fingers pointed forward, shoulders down, head is in neutral. Release the hands, inhale the arms up, hold them here. Nice long spine, drop the shoulder blades behind you. Lengthen through the fingertips. Relax the thighs, they do nothing to hold you here. Hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release the hands. Coming into Janusarsasana, head to knee pose. Left leg stays where it is. Inhale, bring the right knee up towards the chest. Exhale, open. Okay, here, if we're feeling some tension, allowing the knee to fall down because of gravity, put a little block underneath there. Sit up nice and straight. You can also, remember, put a little washcloth underneath the ankle if you are overcompensating and having the ankle have an inner rotation to bring the knee open and open up the hip. All right, let's bring one of our props in front of our left leg or beside the left leg. We're going to use it as we go down and stay down for a while. So you can use a block or a pillow. We'll use the belt on the second time going down so that you can practice that. We're all in position. Coming down 1/3 of the way. Sitting up nice and straight, hands are on either side of the knee. Take a breath in, and exhale, come down 1/3. Hold here for 1 minute. Use your prop to hold up your head or your hands. You can even bring the pillow right at your belly and just hang over it. Stay here with your practice, trying to focus on the breath, observing the sensations passing through the body and the mind. Just stay here. And now let's go 1/3 more down. Perhaps you can change the angle of your prop. And hold. And exhale again, coming into a full expression of the pose for you today. Slowly with mindfulness, come up out of the pose halfway. Coming out of the pose all the way, lift the head, lengthen the back, and then use your hands and slide them back towards the middle of the body as you lift the torso up. Let's release, change sides. Again, adjust any props that you may like. Coming into position, hands are on either side of the knee. Nice long back, head is in neutral, take a breath in, and exhale, come down 1/3 of the way. Hold here. With the minimum of movement, exhale and come down another 1/3. And exhale again, coming into your full expression today. Slowly, mindfully come up to 50% again. Slowly working our way out of the pose. Coming out of the pose completely, lift the head, lengthen the back. Now draw the hands back towards the body as you lift the torso. Complete the movement till you come all the way up and you can feel the back be nice and long. And then exhale, release. Bring both legs in front of you, shake it out a little bit. Grab your belt. And let's put the belt around both feet. So here, as I use my belt to help me come down, I'm using the biceps. The rest of the body, I'm trying to lengthen and relax as much as I can. So we have a hold of our belt. Hang on to the belt so that you can still have a nice straight back, sitting up nice and tall. Head is in neutral, shoulders back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, forward fold, and as you need to, you pull on the rope to bring the torso down. Elbows can come down to the mat or perhaps out to the side. And let's hold here. Counting down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose with the head, lengthen the back. And now as you hinge from the hips and lift the torso, the hands slide down the belt, coming closer to the body. Finish here in a nice still position, holding the back upright, relaxing the shoulders. And now exhale and release completely. Let's come into a cross-legged position, or you can sit on your heels. We're coming into a seated spinal twist. Left hand to the left, right leg. Inhale the right arm up. Let's square off here, drop the shoulders. Exhale, find the twist. Again, if that left shoulder came forward, bring it back in line. Exhale, release the right hand. Look through the right corner of the right eye. Square off, lengthen the spine. Hands do nothing. Hold here. Find your breath. Counting down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, inhale the right arm behind you. Exhale, come back to center and release. Opposite side, right hand to the left leg. Inhale the left arm up. Drop the shoulders gently behind you. Bring them towards one another. Extend through the fingertips. Keep that rib cage in. Exhale, find your twist. Exhale again, release the left hand behind you, looking through the left corner of the left thigh. If you're tempted to use your arms to twist you around, just lift them up. Counting down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming out of the pose, inhale the left arm up behind you. Exhale, release to the center, and release the hand. So the reason why we did a spinal twist is that we were doing forward fold. So what was happening in a forward fold? We were contracting and shortening the muscles down the front line of the body, especially the hip flexors. So by doing a spinal twist, we gave some lengthening and relief to those soft tissues. All right, let's come into a seated position, a straddle position now. And again, you can use your cushion or block to sit on to raise your hips, because you're going to notice it a little bit more here. The challenge to keep your hips and the spine in a nice alignment. So we're in position. This time we're going to do another technique to help lengthen the hamstrings. Remember what we talked about yesterday and I just alluded to. If I tighten the top line of my leg, the thigh, the quad on top, the hamstring underneath automatically lengthens. So as we go down, we'll go down halfway. I'll hold it for 8 counts and I'll ask you to contract strongly the thigh, and then 16 counts we will relax. If you'd like, you can also use a block to kind of hold yourself there if you'd like. All right? So sitting up nice and straight, let's turn towards the left, hands are on either side of the knee. Roll the shoulders back. Make sure that your right leg is still touching the mat. The seat bone, the right buttocks is still on the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, come down halfway. Hold here. Contract the left thigh and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, release, and so you can come down a little further for 16 counts. 16, 18, oops. Let's say 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's contract again. Stay right here and contract the thigh for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, and perhaps you come down a little further. Holding here for 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose, lift the head, lengthen the back. Inhale, gently draw the hands back. Come right to that beautiful upright position. Face forward and hold still. Let the body adjust. And let's go to the other side. Turning the torso towards the right, keeping the left leg anchored, left hip anchored on the mat. Roll the shoulders up and back, hands are on either side. Exhale, come down halfway. Hold here and let's begin to contract for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and deepen the pose for 16 counts. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay right here, contract. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, deepen the pose, relax. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose, lift the head, lengthen the back, and now inhale, draw the hands slowly towards the center of the body. As the torso rises, face the center, be very still, hold here. Coming into the center, get your block or your prop in front of you. Hands are in front, roll the shoulders up and back. Coming down halfway, take a breath in. And exhale, come down halfway. All right, both legs now are in strong contraction. Let's begin. Contract. 8, 7, normal breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. Perhaps you can deepen the pose a little bit and hold. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's stay right here and contract strongly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Can we deepen the pose? 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose, lift the head, lengthen the back. Inhale, draw the hands towards the center of the body, the torso lifts. You come back into position, hold here, stay quiet. Exhale, release, go ahead, bring the legs together, shake it out a little bit. Okay, now as a counter pose, we'll do two things. We're going to do a spinal twist, and we're also going to do a supported cobra or Bhujangasana. So let's come into the spinal twist position first. You can use your prop to hold up the leg that is twisting to one side if you feel that there is too much tension on your hip, inner thigh, or lower back. So let's begin in a supine position first. Extend the arms out to the side, palms up. Using a pelvic tilt, float the knees over the hips. All together, take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and I float the knees over my hips. Exhale, knees come to the right, you look to the left. So again, if this is uncomfortable on the inner thigh, you bring your cushion or your block in between both legs. So you still have a beautiful twist, but there's a little less pull or tension through the inner thigh and the hip. If you feel some discomfort in the hip and the lower back that is not relieved by that, you put the prop underneath both knees so that they're lifted up a little higher. And let's hold. Close your eyes, find a really nice breath. Allow the belly to be soft. Counting down 4, 3, 2, 1. Using the pelvic tilt to come to the center, take a breath in. As you exhale, contract, tilt, and now the knees just come back to center and hold. Take your time, let the body readjust now. And then exhale, let the knees float to the left as you look to the right. Remember, you can adjust this pose with the position of your heels. Your heels can be closer to the buttocks or 90-degree angle from the knee. You can play with the shoulder girdle, opening that up by simply moving the arm up and down with the back of the hand sliding on the mat or on the floor. Counting down 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose, take a breath in and then exhale, contract, tilt, knees come forward, and let's deepen the pose, bringing the knees towards the chest with our hands as we relax the shoulders down, the hips down, lengthening the back. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands, bring the knees together. Hands now come to the mat, palms down, and we're simply going to roll up into Dandasana or stack pose. So take a breath in. As you exhale, you roll up. You're in Dandasana, hold, enjoy. Exhale, release. All right, let's bring our cushion or a prop to the mat as we come into a supported Bhujangasana cobra pose. So you want to put the prop, again, sort of underneath the sternum. You still want your shoulders to be free. So whether you're doing a baby cobra on your forearms like I do, or if you're having your hands on the mat, you sort of figure out where you can put the prop. So what's important is that your legs are extended. I can feel my toes on the mat. The legs, front of the legs are on the mat. My hip bones are on the mat. And more importantly, the navel, the belly button is on the mat. So move the prop so that that is still on the mat, because this is a heart opener. So we want to open the heart from the chest area. So we're in position. Draw the shoulders behind you. Feel a little pressure that you're pushing down through the hips without firming the buttocks too much. You don't want to contract there really rigidly. It's just a little bit. And now as you inhale, you lift the head and come into a supported cobra. I do not let go of that awareness of the contact of my hips or the navel. And with a supported position, you can really bring mindfulness to that. Hold here. Notice how you can release some of the tension in the buttocks and still find awareness of the navel on the mat. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release the head and just let it drop down to the mat. Perhaps you want to stack your wrists one on top of your wrists like this, one on top of each other, and let the forehead rest on it. So notice in the cobra position, we're really lengthening the hip flexors, which were shortened and contracted in the forward folds. Let's do it again. Release your hands, bring them into position. Roll the shoulders back. Extend your legs down the mat. Play a little bit with how you bring pressure to the hips down against the mat without contracting the buttocks too much. And then inhale, lift up. Again, play with the awareness here. How do I shine the heart, bring the shoulders back, lengthen the leg behind me? If you contract the buttocks too much, what you're doing is constricting the lumbar area of your back. And we want that to be free and easy as we lift up into our Cobra. Hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the pose. Exhale, drop the head, stack your fists, and rest the forehead. Now, if you have pain in your lower back, after doing this, you can rest in child's pose, and that will give some relief to that lower back. Hold here. We're going to come into a supported cobra one more time. So lift the head, lengthen the legs, feel that awareness of the hips and the navel, and then inhale, come up. Shine the heart. You have to draw the shoulders behind you. Draw those shoulder blades behind you and down the back as you extend through the toes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To release the pose, drop the head, but this time go ahead, curl the toes under, and let's push up to a nice downward facing dog. Hold here. Really stretch that back out now. It's a whole different sensation. Oops. So downward facing dog is a nice counter pose to cobra. As a bit of an inversion, as a bit of a forward fold, downward facing dog is also a very calming pose. So it's very nice to do near the end of your practice. Just to bring in a little more feeling of peace and tranquility as you end the practice. So let's stay here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you exhale, go ahead, come back into a nice neutral tabletop once more. And now you choose if you would like to do puppy pose or exhale back into child's pose. Counting down, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out of the pose into Vajrasana, sitting on our heels, lift the head, lengthen the back, inhale, draw the hands back, and we're sitting on our heels. Exhale, release. Coming into Savasana, there's many different ways you can use your props. Of course, if you're feeling some tension in the upper back and neck, you put a small pillow underneath the neck or the head. If you're feeling some tension in the lower back that it's hard to lay down, then you can lift your legs up by putting a cushion, and you decide. It can be either underneath the thighs, the knees, or by the ankles. So it's going to be different for everybody. So let's come into Savasana, and if you want, play with your props and just see what feels good to you. Sometimes you have something underneath the heels, something underneath the thighs. And then let's just hold here. If you'd like to stay a little longer in Savasana, listening to the birds singing, I hope you can. If you're ready to come out of Savasana, go ahead and start to move the fingers and toes. Gently bringing movement back to the ankles and the wrists. Just bringing a different type of awareness back to the body. Moving the bigger joints slowly, knees and hips, elbows and shoulders. Moving from side to side, bringing movement into the spine. And then all together, let's roll onto our right hand side and push up to a nice seated position. Again, you can choose to use a prop or not as you come into your last position of your practice today. All together, inhale, hands to heart center, sharing the pranava one time. Take a breath in. Exhale, bow down to the teacher within. And inhale, come back up. Open the eyes, we're in full awareness. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. So just a really short recap. When we're working on flexibility, especially when we're talking about the hamstrings, you have a couple different ways to do it. You can hold it for 4 to 5 minutes and gently make your way down deeper and deeper into the pose. You can use the belt. Bring the torso closer down towards the extended leg. And you can use that method where you contract the quadricep and then let the hamstring relax. And that's another way of bringing more length into your hamstrings. So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Corinne,
Yeah? Oops, me, I don't hear you.
I just said thank you, Corinne.